Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Steve again, Harmless Rebel. I'm going to do a dig video here and a concert review as well. So, last weekend, I went to Asheville. I'm sorry, not Sepultura, but Max and Igor Cavalera from Sepultura were doing a show on Monday night in Asheville. I had planned to go there, watch a show and come home, and my wife said we should make a weekend of it. So we ended up doing that. We went on Saturday, first thing in the morning. It's about a 3-hour drive from here, and spent the weekend in Asheville. And then I went to see the show on Monday night. We did a bunch of stuff, mostly family stuff. You know, we spent the day at Saturday. We did some walking around Midtown, downtown, and then my daughter's really into the ghosts and goblins stuff, and so we did the Asheville Ghost Tour, which was really fun. It's about a 3-mile walk late at night, but it was cool. It was really interesting. It was a history teacher, so we got kind of a history lesson of Asheville along with the ghost stories and whatnot, ghost stories and murder stories, all that good stuff. And then Sunday, we did the Biltmore thing. I had been to the Biltmore 5 or 6 years ago with my wife, but my daughter had never gone. So we took her to the Biltmore. My wife and I did a wine tasting. Went to a couple of really good restaurants. And then Monday, again, we went to downtown Asheville. I decided to hit a couple of record stores while we were walking around. My wife was checking out some breweries. Found a couple of good things. Overall, I wasn't really blown away by the Asheville stores. I did find a couple of cool things, but there was not a whole lot going on in those stores. It's funny, Dylan from Noble Records just did a video, and he found some killer stuff, but he mentioned a record store that I didn't see on the Google search, and I wish I would have, because he said they had some sealed 80s metal and stuff, which I would love to have found some stuff like that. But so I went to High Voltage, which is in downtown, and then there's another store a few doors down from that. I can't remember the name off the top of my head. It doesn't say it on any of these. And then there was one other store. I don't even think I saw the name of it, but I found some really cool stuff in that one. But so here's what I found. High Voltage, I didn't find anything. They had a couple things on the wall that were interesting, but condition-wise, they weren't good enough, especially for the prices that they were asking. Their bins were pretty empty. They did have a couple of cool, like, Trouble albums. They had a couple of cool represses in the metal section, but it was all stuff that I already had either originals of or I had the repress of. So nothing there. And then a few doors down, it's it's run by a couple of punks, and there's a stage in the back, and they had some cool stuff. They had a psych, a hard psych, and a psych and hard psych selection that was pretty good. It wasn't stuff I was looking for. I go more towards the psych that's a little bit heavier than what they had. They had some decent metal, nothing that I wanted though. But I did find a couple of comps for really good prices. So this first one is called Iron Brew, the Legacy GWR Sampler Volume 1. This one was sealed, and I got it for $11. But it's got Thunderhead, Motorhead, Uriah Heep, Winter's Reign, Death Wish, Fast Way, Girl School, Slug the Watchman, and Hawkwind on it. So this one's from 1990, which is, kind of late for some of these bands, but still some bands that I love on here, so looking forward to checking that one out. I also grabbed this one is more of an EP, but this is Megahertz, which has is it 4 songs? Let's see. Oh no, this is a full length. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's got multiple songs from each of these bands. I thought it was only 4 songs, but it's not. But it's got a few songs from Fifth Angel, a few from Sanctuary, a few from Riot, and a few from Slammin' Watusis. I remember the Slammin' Watusis. I remember that name just because it's a weird name and it sticks in my head. I don't remember anything about them though, but Riot is a favorite band of mine. Sanctuary is a favorite band of mine, and I love Fifth Angel. So can't go wrong with this one. And just, I mean, all of those. So we've got Thunder Steel, the Fifth Angel. Is that the self-titled? Yeah, it's the self-titled. And then Refuge Denied from Sanctuary, which all three of those are absolute classic albums. So, and then the last from that store, this one is one I'm really looking forward to cleaning up and spinning. I actually might do this one as soon as the video's over, but this is these are all Seattle. I believe they're all from Seattle, but they're all from Washington State. But this is a really cool comp called Metal Meltdown 3. I don't know that I've heard or seen any of the other Metal Meltdowns. I don't know if they're all Washington bands or if it's maybe just this particular comp. The only one on here that I know that got bigger was Coven, who ended up having 2 or 3 albums. Their first album is kind of a thrash classic from 87 or 88. But here's the bands that are on here. So you got Crisis, Coven, Tempt, Turmoil, Cypress, Prowess, Kill Decor, Gypsy Kiss. That name sounds familiar to me. Show and Tell, Lethal Dose, Shock Treatment, and Dehumanizers. So I'm really looking forward to checking this one out. I did look. Pretty much all of them are either thrash bands or progressive metal. So really looking forward to that one as well. And then a couple of I ended up in that third store, and like I said, I don't even remember. I wish I had taken pictures. Usually I take pictures of the front of the store. I didn't think about it. This last one, they didn't have a lot of stuff, but what I bought is all pretty much grails. This is one I've been looking for years and years, and I've never seen a copy in the wild. And online, they're always super expensive, but No Respect from Vain. Just a fantastic 80s album. I want to say this was 89. I'm too blind to see it right now. I believe it was 89, though. This red on black makes it hard to see. This one is a gold stamp promo. But this has been on my want list for at least 10 years. Next up is one of my favorite albums from the 90s, Accident of Birth from Bruce Dickinson. I just showed the reissue. They just did a really good reissue with some bonus tracks not too long ago. But to find an original pressing for a really killer price, the few times I've seen this in stores, it's been well over $100. So I'm really super happy to have this one, a really nice original pressing. And then last but not least, this is an album I've never even heard. I've never seen this one. I don't know how I missed it because I am a huge Bruce Dickinson fan, but this one's called Skunk Works. And if I remember correctly, this one, I looked online, came out right before Accident of Birth. But so really looking forward to checking this one out as well. And this is another one that goes for, is pretty expensive. But so you'll see this one in a later video. I'll discuss what I think of it. That was it for the digging. Later that day, I dropped my wife and daughter off at the hotel. They ordered in dinner and just hung out while I went to the show. They're not into, definitely not, they did not want to see the bands I was going to see that night. But so the opening band was Bewitcher. I do have one of the Bewitcher albums. I'm not a huge fan of. They're not bad. It's just not what I tend to listen to at this point in my life. Had they been a band in 1991 or 2, I would have been much more into them. But they did a really good set, a really nice opening set to get people pumped up. And then Max and Igor Cavalera came out, and they were doing songs from Beneath the Remains and Arise, which are probably the two most aggressive. Schizophrenia is up there too, but probably the two most aggressive of the albums that Sepultura released. So I was lucky enough to see Sepultura right before Max Cavalera left the band. He left in December of 97, and I saw him in October of 97. So right before he left. However, that was on the Bloody Roots tour. And a good, I would say 90% of that set was either songs from Roots or songs from Chaos AD, which was a much different sound than Beneath the Remains and Arise, which are much more on the death metal, death thrash in that area sound wise. So it was really cool to see Sepultura's more aggressive stuff live. Like I said, with Chaos AD, they added a lot more groove to their sound, which was even there was even more of it with Roots. So to hear the really aggressive Sepultura was amazing. I never thought I would hear them do these songs. It was fantastic. When I saw Max and Igor do Roots a couple of years ago, I thought it was good, but Max was kind of screaming the vocals a little more than singing them. Whereas this one, his voice sounded fantastic. The guys, man, they just killed it. I had such a blast. They sounded so good. They hit all the high points. Everything I wanted to hear off of those two albums, they played. It was what's even cooler is they did some. What did they do? They did the Orgasmatron from Motorhead. From there, they went into Territory, which is all actually off of Chaos AD, but it's one of my favorite Sepultura songs. So to hear them do Territory live again for the first time since '97 was fantastic. And then they ended the set with Schizophrenia, which, again, Schizophrenia is my favorite Sepultura album. So it was really cool to hear him end with that. It was just a fantastic show. They weren't doing meet and greets. Max is worried about COVID because he hasn't had it yet. And they announced this ahead of time, which it kind of disappointed me just for the simple fact that I really want to get... I've got original Brazilian pressings of Schizophrenia and Beneath the Remains that I really want to get signed by the band. And I was really hoping they would do... They usually do like a bus thing where like 10 people will come on the bus. They'll spend a little time with them. They'll sign stuff for them, pictures, all that good stuff. When they came through like 5 or 6 years ago, I didn't have the money to do it. Now that I do have the money to do it, they didn't do it because of COVID. But they did do some signed stuff. So I ended up getting a signed tour poster, which will end up on the wall. But Max and Igor return Beneath Arise. So you can see they've kind of melded the Beneath the Remains album art with the Arise album art. And the Sepultura style logo, except it says Cavalera. And again, it's signed by both of them. I also got the shirt too. I didn't pull that in here to show. And then I got one of the drumsticks that's signed by Igor that says Beneath Arise. So it was fantastic. I had a great trip all around, capped off by a fantastic show. I unfortunately missed when they did the Chaos AD tour, but I think this is pretty much it for them doing Sepultura. They didn't say that, but I think I've read in an interview that once this tour is done, and I think there's still like 5 or 6 dates. So if they're coming to your area, definitely see them. But I think they said this is pretty much going to be the end of them doing Sepultura songs together. So that's it for me. I'm going to go ahead and post some videos here of the show. I'm going to do 1 or 2 of Bewitcher just so you guys can kind of check them out, see what you think, and then I'll do 3 or 4 videos from Cavalera. Fantastic. Hope everybody's doing good. Take care, and I'll see you soon, VC. Bye.
I